This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
وافق مجلس صيانة الدستور في إيران على ترشيح 4 أسماء.
The Iranian Guardian Council of the Constitution has approved the candidacy of several individuals ahead of the elections, which will take place next month in Iran. These candidates are Iran's current president Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, former Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousawi, ex-Parliament Speaker Mehdi Karoubi, and former Revolutionary Guards Chief Mohsen Rezai.
Meanwhile, Tehran has announced that it has successfully launched its new surface-to-surface Sijil 2 missile. According to the Islamic Republic news agency, the missile has a range of 2,000 kilometers, which means that it can reach Israel and American military bases in the Gulf. The missile's range is close to that of the Shihab 3 missile, and it is expected to raise a great deal of concern among Western countries.
وقد وصف الرئيس الإيراني محمود أحمدينژاد عملية
Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad told Iranians who gathered in the region of Sinan that the missile test was successful and the intended target was hit.
أصاب الهدف المحدد له.
I am revealing this news, which you will hear for the first time. The defense minister told me that with God's help, the Sijil 2 missile, which has a very advanced technical capability, was successfully launched today. The missile was launched from Sinan, and it hit the intended target with precision.
وينضم إلينا من طهران مدير مكتب الجزيرة محمد حسن البحراني.
Joining us from Tehran, Al Jazeera's bureau chief, Mohammed Hassan al-Bahrani. Mohammed, first of all, does the launching of this missile carry a political message considering its timing, which comes in the middle of the election campaign? Also, can you please tell us more about the 3 other candidates aside from Ahmadinejad? Who has the best chance at challenging the current president?
نعم بالتأكيد هناك رسالة سياسية مزدوجة في مقاصدها وعناوينها.
Yes, of course, the launching of the missile carries a double message. According to many observers in Tehran, Ahmadinejad deliberately chose this time to reveal the news about the Sijil 2 missile. According to President Ahmadinejad, this missile system has advanced technological capabilities.
وفقا للرئيس أحمدينژاد أبرزها أن هذا الصاروخ يعمل بالوقود الجامد على خلاف.
For example, solid fuel is used to fuel this missile, unlike other missiles in the past which used liquid fuel. The missile also has a range of more than 2,000 kilometers. Ahmadinejad is sending the first message to Tel Aviv and Washington. I think he is saying to these 2 governments, be careful, do not play with fire. He is saying, do not attack Iran and its nuclear facilities in particular, otherwise Iran will respond quickly and Sijil 2 missiles are ready to be launched.
لأن الرد سيكون سريعا وصواريخ سجيل 2 ستكون جاهزة للإطلاق. هناك تقارير تتحدث.
Some reports say that Iran wants to manufacture more than 1,000 Sijil 2 missiles in addition to hundreds of missile launchers. Ahmadinejad is sending the second message to the Iranian people. He wants to take advantage of the timing since the elections will be held in 3 weeks. This is a very critical time. As you know, this time around, the other presidential candidates are serious challengers. All of the candidates competing with Ahmadinejad have held very senior positions. One is an ex-parliament speaker, the other is a former prime minister, and the third one is a former Revolutionary Guards chief. Therefore, Ahmadinejad's competitors are well known by the Iranian voters. I think that Ahmadinejad wants to tell the Iranians, I have brought Iran this dignity and power, as some of his supporters say. The Americans have reversed their previous threats, and the Israelis now have to think 1,000 times over before they decide on attacking Iran.
وحيث ينبغي على الإسرائيليين أن يفكروا 1000 مرة قبل مهاجمة إيران.
I think Ahmadinejad has chosen the right time to announce the new generation of Sejil-2 missiles. By the way, according to poll surveys, the most prominent competitor to Ahmadinejad is, of course, Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousawi, who is an engineer, followed by ex-parliament speaker Mehdi Karoubi. Of course, these are just the results of poll surveys.
المهندس مير حسين موسوي وبعده مهدي كروبي طبعا هذه حسب استطلاعات الآراء.
شكرا لك محمد.
Thank you, Mohammed Hassan al-Bahrani, who spoke to us from Tehran.
The timing is questionable. However, Salam Fayyad has returned to the Palestinian Authority Muqata headquarters in Ramallah, where he took the oath of office at the top of a transitional government. The government included 24 ministers, half of whom are from the Fatah movement. 4 ministers, including Isa Krekai and Ribaha Thiab, 2 members from the Fatah parliamentary bloc, have boycotted the ceremony. The ministers accuse the government of failing to consult the Fatah movement regarding the formation of such a controversial government. Mohammed Al-Sayed reports from Ramallah.
The new Palestinian government was sworn in before the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. This news comes despite the fact that several ministers from the Fatah movement decided to boycott the government in a scene that was described as an urgent situation. It seems that the new government will continue to exert effort to bring new members to the cabinet. Meanwhile, the new prime minister is focusing on the days ahead, with many issues facing the new government.
Most definitely, the government is enjoying the support of the Palestinian political constituents. The government is not only part of this political system, but it is also the main executive arm. We, as a government, must detail a political program that meets the needs of the people.
Salam Fayyad will continue to serve as Prime Minister as well as Minister of Finance. Also, Riyad al-Maliki will continue to serve as Foreign Minister in the new government. Meanwhile, the Governor of Ramallah and Al-Bira, Dr. Saeed Abu Ali, was appointed Minister of Interior. The new government, which includes 4 women, didn't include a Ministry of Information or a Ministry of Prisoners' Affairs. The former caretaker government submitted its resignation on March 7, 2009. The new makeup of the government includes independent ministers and members from the FIA party and the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine.
The government includes 4 political blocs from the Palestinian Liberation Organization, and they are the Fatah movement, the Popular Struggle Front, the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine, and the Palestinian Democratic Party, known as FIDA.
While much of the criticism of the new government came from the Hamas movement, members of the Fatah parliamentary bloc said that they will not support it or give it the vote of confidence. However, this will not be for long. Mohammed Al-Sayed, Dubai TV, Ramallah.
In response to the formation of the new Fayyad government, the Hamas movement confirmed that it will not recognize it. Hamas further said that the new government poses an obstacle to the Egyptian-sponsored reconciliation talks aimed at forming a national unity government. In addition, Hamas's spokesman Fawzi Barhoum accused the Palestinian president Abu Mazen of dragging Hamas and the Palestinian resistance blocs into the arena of failed political bids and unproductive consensus with Israel. Barhoum held Abbas responsible for sabotaging and wasting all efforts of reconciliation. We are joined from Gaza with Kayed Al-Gula, member of the political office for the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. It seems that President Abbas insisted on forming a new government under the leadership of Fayyad. Why did he insist on that, especially at this time?
In my opinion, the decision was the result of President Abu Mazen's assessment of the future of reconciliation talks. He may use the issue in the context of international relations in order to secure support for his faction. The formation of the new government came at the wrong time, especially since we were seeking to form a national unity government. The national unity government will be based on mutually agreed upon principles. In my opinion, the new Fayyad government will not be able to take the Palestinian people out of their crisis, especially amidst the internal division. On the contrary, the crisis may deepen due to the various positions being voiced against the new government. Some may use it as a pretext to postpone or hamper reconciliation talks, which we were seeking to resume as soon as possible in order to end the internal division. This internal division is casting a shadow over the general Palestinian situation, and it is also weakening the Palestinian plight and causing a great deal of pain to our people.
Thabit
Abu Haj reiterated that he was discussing Islam with prison inmates who support the extremist Takfiri ideologies. Al Arabiya met with Thabit, who was imprisoned for 3 years for acquiring information for the Hamas movement. He is now defending his PhD dissertation in Al Juwaida prison, not at the university campus. Our reporter, Saad Al-Silawi, visited the prisoner and prepared the following report.
Thabit Abu al-Haj discussed his PhD dissertation in Islamic law in prison in the presence of his family, as well as scholars and professors from Al-Yarmouk University. This process, which usually happens in universities, now is held in Al-Juwaid prison, where Thabit is serving a 5-year prison sentence for security-related violations. Thabit Abu Haj took off his civilian clothes and wore the prison uniform before talking to Al Arabiya about his PhD dissertation.
First of all, one needs will. Humans need to have the will. Second, one needs good psychological health. Third, one needs good scientific resources. One needs good psychological health in order to have the ability to write. One can't have problems. One can't be thinking about facing problems with security officials. Security officials do not interfere with your life. Therefore, one does not face anything that distracts them.
Thabit Abu al-Haj is accused of acquiring information that is important to the national security of the country and passing it to Hamas. Al-Haj said he is talking with some of his prison inmates about their Takfiri ideologies, which they are adopting due to their ignorance of Islam.
Going in depth in religion means that we must issue the right fatwa and act properly. Ignorance of Islam is bad to religion. We are seeing groups of people who talk on behalf of the religion, but they are not experts in the field. They are inspired by enthusiasm and eagerness of defending their religion.
Dr. Thabit Abu al-Haj was not the only one who pursued a degree in prison. There are several rehabilitation and reform centers in Jordan, offering classes that are being taught by teachers and experts in the field. This is the first time that a doctorate dissertation was defended inside a prison and away from a university campus. There are many prisoners who pursued degrees inside rehabilitation and reform centers in Jordan and use their education to benefit society after their release.
A phenomenon of the Lebanese elections are the Syrian villages where its residents are Lebanese voters. For instance, the village of El Tfayl in the Bekaa Valley cannot be reached from Lebanon, but only through Syria. So who will the residents vote for, and how will the results be returned to the Saraya in Baalbek or the voting centers in Beirut? Also, Mashrafa in Akkar is an example of a Syrian village whose residents are Lebanese who will be exercising their right to vote in Lebanon.
The Hadas border center between Lebanon and Syria has not been opened yet. It is the dividing line between the two countries geographically, but thousands of Lebanese live across the borders in Syria and have Lebanese identity cards. We are in Akkar. Do you consider yourself as living in Syria or Lebanon?
Both.
Will you vote in the elections?
Yes, of course.
Will you vote in Lebanon?
Yes.
A third of the residents in Sharqiya are Lebanese and hold Lebanese ID cards. Many of them teach in schools in Khalid Valley. How do you come and go?
Normally, we get a car to take us here. Then we take another car there.
You can't cross over with your own car.
No.
You're living in Syria normally?
Yes, normally. There are no problems.
What are the different Lebanese sects here?
There are Alawites and Christians.
Do you come to participate in the elections?
Always.
Who do you vote for? What bloc?
It depends. Here we are nationalists more than we are loyal to anyone. We see who is most credible and vote for him.
All of you vote?
Yes, even the seniors. They carry them in and bring them to vote.
Reports indicate that most of the Lebanese here in the Syrian Msharfi are here because their grandfathers bought land on the borders and resided here while also maintaining their Lebanese nationality. Mohammed Khalil is one of them.
I consider myself to be a citizen of both Syria and Lebanon.
Yes, but you vote in the Lebanese elections.
Naturally.
Is there pressure on you to vote? It's said that your voting bloc can be bought.
Absolutely not. In my time, there have been more than 6 or 7 rounds of elections, and that never happened. We express our opinions freely.
A lot of you come to vote?
Of course, everyone. From 90 years of age to anyone else who was eligible.
Most of the Lebanese in Syria live in the Khalid Valley. Most of them, and most who live on the borders, buy basic necessities in Syria.
Yes, I go and get stuff and come back.
How do you cross over the borders?
They don't say anything.
What do? Sell things?
Yes, I sell stuff.
Is there a lot of work?
No.
Why?
Because they closed the borders.
There are a lot of crossings through the river other than the official crossing, which will open at the end of the month. We're in Mayable, the last point on the border between Qatar and Syria. Half of the residents of this village are living in Msharfi, some of whom are present and living in Syria with Lebanese ID cards. They work in Lebanon and they vote in Lebanon and intensely participate in the parliamentary elections, despite the fact that they live in Syrian territory. Voters in Msharfi have a polling center in Lebanon, in Ma'able. They number 300 voters because a large number of Lebanese serve in the Lebanese army and do not have the right to vote. The village is just one example of other villages along the borders, such as Hayrin and Armuta. Half of the Lebanese moved here and built their homes behind the river, or in Syria. The Lebanese with ID cards are authorized to vote in Lebanon.
ذكر تقرير لوزارة الخارجية الأمريكية أن عدد المواطنين المسيحيين في العراق يتراوح ما بين
According to a report released by the Pentagon, the number of Christians living in Iraq is between 550,000 to 800,000, down from 1.5 million. The largest part of Iraqi Christians left the country after 2003. Meanwhile, according to the Kasha Catholic Organization for Relief in Germany, the number of current Iraqi Christians in Iraq is no more than 40,000.
إلى أن عدد المسيحيين العراقيين الحالي لا يتجاوز 40,000 في العراق. من جهته ذكر ينادم كنا النائب
Iyad Makana, a Christian representative in the Iraqi parliament, said that Christian migration has increased dramatically when violence increased after 2003.
أي بعد تصاعد العنف. وعلى صعيد متصل نشدت عائلة المدرس المسيحي.
In a related topic, the family of the kidnapped Iraqi teacher Namir Kirkuk, who was kidnapped while he was teaching in a school in Al-Rashad neighborhood in the province of Kirkuk, pleaded to the kidnappers to let him go. The family told Al-Sharqiya channel that their son had been kidnapped after teaching for a short while and that they do not know why their son was kidnapped. They also said that the salary of their kidnapped son was their only source of income.
We do not know why he was kidnapped. We were told that he was kidnapped. They said that some individuals went into the school and asked who Namar is. My son did not know what was happening, so he told them, I am Namar. They kidnapped him. Why?
I am in pain. They should reconsider their actions and think about the parents. He is teaching the new generation of Iraq. What did he do wrong? He is a good man and he was just hired. He has been going to the village to teach regardless of weather conditions. Why did they kidnap him? I pray to God to put some sympathy in their hearts so they let my son go. I have nothing else to say. He did nothing to hurt anyone. I worked in a company for 42 years. I retired 10 years ago. We were depending on his salary.
Where is Uncle Namer? He is gone. I want him to come back. Please let my Uncle Namer come back. May God save you.
I plead with the kidnappers to let Namer go, back to his family and his school. He raises their kids. He helps their kids to establish a better future. He is serving them.
خرجت عوائل المعتقلين في محافظة كربلاء بتظاهرة أمام مجلس المحافظة.
The families of detained Iraqis in the province of Karbala held a demonstration outside the province assembly, protesting the arrest of their sons and relatives who had not been charged yet. The families urged the Iraqi government to release their husbands and relatives, saying that they are being subjected to difficult living conditions due to the loss of their only income provider.
My son was arrested a week ago, and I still don't know anything about him. Where can I go? I've asked them about my son, but they told me they do not have my son. I asked them to help me for the sake of Hussein, but they told me, which Hussein are you talking about? I only have God and you. Please help me find a solution. I have borrowed 3,000 Iraqi dinars, and now I have nothing.
We ask Nouri al-Maliki and the Iraqi government to release the detainees. All of our sons have been arrested, but they did nothing wrong. They are innocent. We support the martyr Muhammad Bakr al-Sadr, and all the Iraqi people are behind him. Is there anyone who does not support the al-Sadr movement? So now al-Sadr movement is viewed as a dirty germ. No, it is not a germ. We hope that Nouri al-Maliki and all those who hear our words respond to our pleas and feel with the families and their children and women. We will protest and protest and protest.
The father is not home. I only have daughters. We've been waiting all night long. They destroyed our home. They didn't spare the kitchen, pictures, or anything else. They even took the picture of a Sadr and left.
They raided our home and took my brothers and father. They searched our home. They did not leave anything. They searched my sister and took her husband. His name is Suleiman, and I do not know where they took him.
He has been in prison for 2 years. They attack us every day. We were sleeping when they came and destroyed our home, and they put the guns to our heads.
Why? I want to see my father. My father did not do anything wrong. All the people of Karbala know my father. My father's name is Ali Daher Radud.
Plans to set up a single currency for the Gulf states have been dealt a major blow. The United Arab Emirates has decided to withdraw from the proposed monetary union, a move some analysts say could threaten the entire project. Owen Fay explains.
The announcement came with no explanation or clarification, just a simple statement that the United Arab Emirates is out. And that means plans to forge a common currency here in the Gulf are all but dead. And while various governments are already pledging to push forward even without the Emirates and its wealthy cities of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, it's difficult to see if it would ever work. That's because without the second largest economy in the region taking part, there is no way a common currency could be said to be truly representative of the region's economic power. That realization, in turn, is leading to speculation that the Emirati government has made this decision because it feels snubbed. By definition, a common currency must have a central bank acting on behalf of all the member states. The Emiratis wanted the bank's headquarters to be here, arguing they have the economic clout and exposure to justify it. But a few weeks ago, the other nations in the GCC voted for the Saudi capital of Riyadh instead, a move believed to have infuriated the Emiratis. Economically, however, financial analysts wonder how the UAE can make this decision to go it alone. In the past year, this country has been hit especially hard with the global economic slowdown. Dubai is in particularly bad shape, with housing prices down roughly 40% from a year ago, and the city itself needing an emergency bailout of billions of dollars from Abu Dhabi to cover the worst of its losses. Other nations like Qatar remain determined to press ahead. This country is in better shape than most, though ambitious expansion plans have had to be curtailed somewhat. Should this latest move kill off plans for a single currency entirely, economies like this one won't be devastated, as most of them remain pegged to the dollar. But what they will lose out on is the chance to speak on global economic affairs with one voice, an advantage which nobody here wants to give up, and the argument which stands the best chance of persuading the Emiratis to rejoin the common currency once they get over this perceived snub. Owen Fay, Al Jazeera.
To discuss this some more now, I'm joined on the phone by Eckhart Voorts from the Gulf Research Center in Dubai. So has the UAE's withdrawal totally killed the possibility of a unified currency in the Gulf?
I would guess so. I mean, it's the second largest economy of the GCC, so it's pretty unlikely that the other four can go ahead, or that it would make very much sense to go ahead.
Is this a bargaining move, a statement of protest over the decision for the central bank to be based in Saudi Arabia rather than a final decision? There's been a lot of speculation about that.
Well, it's certainly a statement of protest, and they have made it very clear that it was because of the decision regarding the seat of the central bank. But, I mean, these negotiations, they have taken place a couple of weeks ago, and there they certainly have raised their concerns as well. And now this is a pretty public statement in a rather consensus-driven culture, so I think this is a pretty remarkable and strong point that they have made. Yes, I mean, you have to see the GCC General Secretariat is already in Riyadh, so and the smaller Gulf states have a general fear of a kind of too tight embrace by the big neighbor. So maybe a central bank seat in Bahrain and Abu Dhabi or Doha would have been better, from a diplomatic point of view. What has happened behind closed doors during the negotiations, we don't know, but obviously this decision for Riyadh has finally raised a lot of concern on part of the UAE.
Get more news about the Middle East online at linktv.org/Mosaic. The Mosaic webpage offers a complete archive of Mosaic programs, program transcripts, the Mosaic video podcast, and the Mosaic Intelligence Report, a weekly analysis of the hottest stories from the Middle East. The views expressed on Mosaic are those of the participating broadcasters, not Link TV or its sponsors. The production of Mosaic is made possible with the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs which connect you to the world.